Hey everybody, welcome back. This is another APA Masters match, and this one was from a few weeks ago, so last month's matches. And this one's pretty interesting because it was the first match of that particular day. And coming into this, as I've talked about in my other two recent Masters match videos, my confidence is coming through. My mechanics have been feeling really solid, and I'm just kind of playing well in general. So it feels really good. Um, and it wasn't on my mind on that particular day, but it did turn out that I had been on a little bit of a streak here. Between last season and this season, I'd been undefeated for over 20 matches in a row. So it was pretty cool to look back on that, just recently noticing that. And like I said, I wasn't thinking about it on this day of competition, but just coming in for the first match of the day on this new team, as I've mentioned, playing against a player who's new to me. Not really familiar with this guy too much. Don't really know his background or skill level or anything. But what I find really interesting about this match, and what I'd be curious to hear from you guys about as well, is just his style. So no nonsense, not a ton of prep. Like consistent pre-shot routine for the most part, from what I saw, but fast and loose. Just kind of not too worried about shooting himself into a corner necessarily. Almost gives up ball in hand here with a light touch on the 12, which would have been really nice for us to clear out the rest of this rack. But first match of the day, I am just taking some time to kind of settle in. And with this particular layout, this is a very runnable table. So we really just have to solve the 7 and the 5 now being clogged up by the 12. And yeah, I'm just looking at this area over here, which is the position window for taking care of the 7 and the 5. The 6 and the 3 both go in this corner, so I would just have to maybe use the 1 ball to get shape on those. The 4 ball could also help us get shape on the 7 and the 5. We might just attack that at the beginning here. Be curious to hear how you guys might attack this layout from the break. Feel free to drop a comment about that one. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Anthony, and I do breakdowns of my matches in different formats, a lot of APA Masters, and then some tournament play here and there. Talk a lot about the mental game, sort of emotional regulation during the matches, my psychological state, what I do to maintain that. This is a good play here. Just use the 12 to stop you. Make sure you get some kind of angle off the 5 to get back up table for the 1. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, is basically just drag up towards the 1. And then what I do is get behind the 1 ball up here to see where I would want to be to get on the 6 or the 3. Either one should be fine, but if you play for the 6, then you basically just pinch back for the 3. If you play for the 3, it can be a little touchier. This was good to let my stroke out a little bit, especially early in the match, to open that up. I still have an angle on the 1. You're all but guaranteed to get an angle on the 1. You'd have to be really unlucky to end up straight on that 1 ball. Maybe just a touch of low right, low outside there to drift down towards the 6 and the 3. This is looking like a run out. It'd be nice to get this first one up on the board. The 6 ball looks playable from here. Maybe just pinch back for the 3, but I think the reason I go for the 3 ball is I might have had a bit too steep of an angle on the 6 to feel like I could hold it. So I decide to roll down. I overplay this one slightly. This is still playable, and with a smooth stroke, you could try to get up above the 6 into here. It's kind of a small window. Or theoretically, just roll this ball in, take a bit more of a cut on the 8 ball down here in this corner. It's not a great spot to be in. Ideally, we would have wanted to play the 6 and then the 3. So let's see. I think just kind of stay level on the 6, stay low on this, and roll through. I'm not liking it. It must be awkward queuing off the rail. And it's not a gimme, this shot, putting this down. Overcut it. and threw off the position. Now, in this format, it is APA, even though it's Masters League. This format, you would still continue to shoot if that 6 ball had rolled in. He jumps right up and fires at this 11 ball and maybe, not sure, maybe just trying to hold for the 13. Based on the way he stroked it, I wonder if the intention was to pull back for the 13 in the side, but didn't cooperate. And he does leave us hooked behind the 8. This position's tricky because you could kick at it this way. I kind of like that based on the way it looks in the video. A one rail kick this way would also work. That seems a little more natural to me, especially because if you make it, the cue ball's gonna tend to want to come off the long rail and back out, and you either get shape on the 8 in the side, kind of thin to the side. I do believe the 8 goes up in this corner. Just looking at my one rail kick angle, where the cue ball is going to want to end up. It's a little touchy though. This is an interesting choice. I'm not sure if it's just because mentally I hadn't fully settled in for the day, but I'm not using my system. I'm not using my one rail kick system that is very consistent. It's been getting me great results. I'm just eyeballing this. So a bit more, I make a good hit. 6 threatens the bottom right corner pocket. Gives us a little bit of defense, blocking the 11. It's an interesting choice though. I think sometimes, I wonder if you guys will see that too in competition. Mechanics might go out the window, right? We talked about it with Devin Cloud recently in the breakdown video. By the way, check that one out if you haven't seen that one. A lot of great material in that. A lot of great just educational information in there. My opponent's got a tough choice. He could play back down table for a bank on the 11, fires at a bank on the 13, which is a nice shot. And with a bit of draw, he's able to get down below the 11 ball. And he is just going to run this up the rail, I would think, and come across table. Good play. It's a good play on the 11. He ends up a little funky on the 8. It's still bankable, though. And we know he's got some comfort level with a bank. The problem is if you miss this 8 ball, you're pretty likely to sell out a shot on these 6. Ooh, he does not miss it by much. Almost scratches. Look how close that was. And of all the places that I could be left on the table, I'm down below the 6 ball. I am not caught behind the point, which is lucky, if you could call this situation lucky. This is a bad spot to be in, guys. I think in this case, you can basically attack the cut. You can send the 6 ball up the rail, or you could try to get safe, but getting safe, I remember looking at this and feeling like I didn't have just a soft touch on the 6. Maybe the point was in the way of that. That would look pretty natural to me, at least from here. You could try to get safe, I guess, by coming thin off the 6 and trying to leave your opponent down in the center of the table, challenging them to make a difficult cut. I don't love turning it over that way. I think you have to play this 6 ball. I play it just slightly undercut. Not a bad attempt. Based on the outcome, it was a good attempt. Based on where we were for the 6. And he's just got to make a decent cut on this 8 ball to put down this first game. Bit of a battle on this first one, though. See if he gets it down. So he's able to put that one away. First game in the set. And if you buy into the superstition, that means he's going to win. Well, he puts the 8 ball down in the next game. So just like that, it's 2-0. And the second ball break's working for him, opening things up pretty well. Puts a few balls down and has options. Let's see. Did he put one of each? Yeah, I think so. He's got choice. Opening with solids. Gets a little clustered. He ends up with a look on the 4, jumps right down on it. I think at this point the 7 needs to get solved, but he's able to just hold it and get on that right away. Yeah, like I said, interesting style, right? I mean, just keeping it simple for the most part. Seems relaxed. And he has to just make a good positional shot to get around for the 5 in the side. This could get dicey with the 13, but he's got good speed to get there. And he can soft roll this, or he could jack up and shoot a stop shot. Yeah, he wants to just hold it there. I think that's the way to play it. Doesn't really hit it straight into the pocket, but the 11 ball helps him out. So this is looking like a break and run. An 8 on the break and then a break and run to put him up to 3-0. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough action. Guys coming for me. A little bit of movement on the 8 ball. So he's got a stripe down. Not a great opening shot on stripes, but he's just going to settle in and take what he's got on the 14. Just drills it. 11 ball goes in the top side. 10 and the 9 go in the bottom side. 15 goes in the bottom right-hand corner. If he puts a pack together on us, this is going to be pretty painful. Just a pinch back off the 11 really puts you on the 10. Oh, he wants to roll through. Don't know if I love that, because now he's got a thin cut on the 10 to come all the way back around for the 9. The 2 ball caught him. And he's on the bad side of the 9 ball. He's able to cut the 9 ball in from there, which is cool. But the 15 gets pushed into difficult spot. The 15 does not go from here, but I think he might just cut it and send it towards the pocket. All right, guys, we got to make something happen here. That's 3 games on the string for him, and we haven't seen that much of the table. Got good options to open up here. Just sort of float off the 3, which gives me the 5 to the 6. 7 and the 1 naturally want to go on the side. 2 in the bottom left, 4 on the top side. Probably the only weird spot is the 8, not going past the 15. So I could see us keeping maybe the 1 ball, maybe the 4 to the 1. 4 goes here, 1 goes here, and then the cue ball comes down below the 8. This is a pressure situation, though. So I remember being here, and it's do or die. You know, if you sell out a shot, any kind of shot on the 15, you have to trust that he's going to be able to get out from there based on what we've seen so far. This should be fine. We should still be able to get clean on the 4. Just a little bit of spin to hold it. Rolled down for the 1. We do need to make sure that the angle on the 1 is tidy enough to get us on the 8. Yeah, so playing it pretty full into the 4. This is a good natural angle. Full into the 4, just barely over pocket speed to leave the cue ball here. Now the cue ball naturally wants to go down below the 8. If I'm feeling spicy, which I might have to get spicy, a little bit of inside here to spin it towards the 8. Maybe not even. And you're okay to take this to the side or the corner pocket. If you're Drew, you take this to the side all day long, though. All right, we got a game. Hey, we're not getting wiped out. Yeah, something I noticed, I do believe I said this in a recent video. I need to clean up my second ball break. That was absolutely a hit into the head ball. He's opening up with the 7. Rearranges things slightly, maybe complicates his 2 ball. The 4 wants to go in the side right now, and I believe he might not be able to avoid the 12, yeah. He was trying to do too much off the 4, and so ran into the 12 too full, missing the 4. If we can claim this game, it's going to help with the momentum here. Kind of a tricky layout. The 14's in a bad spot. This is one of those layouts where you may not want to try to get out. Getting safe is tough. So do you just opt for tying up something? The 12 ball's so tempting, but maybe you're playing shape on the 9 or the 13. Maybe you're playing shape on the 15. The 14 is always going to be tough. The 11 is not easy to get on because of the 3. Yeah, I don't mind just trying to tie up something from here. It's just hard to keep him locked down. So there I might be looking at a line to get on the 15. I might also be looking at moving the 13 into a better spot. It's just that the layout really favors solids here, and none of his stuff is really tied up that bad. The 2 is playable. Putting something on the 5, even the 12, so even moving the 12 in front of the 5, very simple, safe, and then containing the cue ball down here, not getting too greedy with the cue ball as we've talked about, just play the object ball. That might be my choice in retrospect. I'm just bringing myself up table here to give myself a couple options. You could play safe on the 10. You could play into the 10, send the 10 up here, and put him in this area. Maybe dare him to move the 6 or the 2. Yeah, tough layout. It's good 8-ball strategy moments, though. You have to make the right decisions and execute. I might be trying to break out my 14. Too aggressive. I think this is too aggressive. High outside to try to roll back. And yeah, too thin off the 10 ball to really get much out of that. We managed to get on the 15. Now I'm looking at whether the 15 takes me into it. If I'm able to break out the 14, I don't hate my odds of getting out from here. But the 11 is still going to be a problem if we don't use the 15 to get on it. Totally missed the breakout. We're going to end up with a shot. So we have a shot on the 9. Doesn't really take us anywhere unless we play the 9. Yeah, I don't like that. I was going to say send the 13 up towards the 3, but it would be hard to get it clustered to where he can't play it. This is shooting ourselves into a corner. You might try playing the 11 to get it in front of the 3. The 9 could get you into a better spot to do that. I'm looking at the 13. I'm looking at the 13 as a 2-way. Although I don't really think I should be trying to make it here. We hit it pretty good. It's going to go. Gives us shape on the 11. Well, we can play the 11, but the 14 still doesn't go anywhere, dude. What are we doing? Doesn't bank. Doesn't cut. We can't hit it off the 11. You do not want to try to do that. This was an important lesson, I think, coming into this day of competition. Overly aggressive in this first match. Yeah, it's too missable. Don't scratch on me. Okay. Caught a bit of a roll. The 11 doesn't complicate the 3, so didn't get a roll with that. He just jumps right in. he's not even taking half the time that I am to think about what he's doing. He's just ready to go. He knew he would always have to get on that 2 ball, so get at it right away. The 1 was there for him. Maybe the 3 takes him to the 5, and then the 5 to the 4. He's a little flat on the 3. But out and back. Out and back. Can't imagine he's going to love this. Unless he just got into that window between the 8 and the 4. He might have ended up between the 2. He did. Look at that. And holds it well. You can sort of drift past the 8, leave it for the 8 in the side. Oh, he went really thin on it. But rolls around nicely. It's the end of the 8-ball set. Maybe the game's not that hard, guys. Seems like what you have to do is just make every shot and then end up where you need to be on the next shot. That might be the secret. If he opens up with a 3-9 combination in this 9-ball set, that's going to hurt. That's what it's looking like. This is the kind of thing that historically would have really bothered me. But I do remember I've had some chances, right? I've had a few innings. I remember on this day feeling like he's playing good, stuff's working out for him, and there are certainly things that I could have done better, but there's only so much I can control. Regardless of the outcome of this match, my attitude was so much healthier. Meanwhile, we do still have to try to play pool here. We can't just be sitting there feeling good about ourselves. Are we going to try to go around this 7 ball and play the 4 on the same side as the 3? That helps. Smooth through the 4 ball. You want an angle on the 6 so that you can come back down for the 7. This is good. We're kind of flat on the 6 from here. Honestly, a stop shot's fine. You can make that cut and it naturally, so from up here, you make the cut on the 7 and it naturally wants to take you towards the 8. I might try to get cute though, based on how my pre-shot's looking. Lifted my head. Yeah, a little bit of body movement. I put way too much into it. It's good to see that on the video though. That stuff teaches me a lot. So overdrew it and got sloppy on the 7. You could try to play safe, I guess. You could put the 7 back where the cue ball is and the cue ball down towards the 9. The 7 banks, right? You can just sort of send it into the side pocket. The 8's going to be tricky because the cue ball's going to end up somewhere around here. I would not love to shoot that, especially not trying to get shape on the 9 from where the 8 is. I'll probably just roll safe. Make sure you move the 7. That's too thin. I needed to move the 7 a lot more. My cue ball's good, but we sold out a cut on the 7. This is a scratch angle, though. He's going to scratch. Oh, man. Hey, we needed one. We needed a little situation here and a little bit of a roll. I've said this before, but if you guys maybe haven't seen those videos or haven't heard this before, instead of trying to play the 8 with draw and pull back towards the 9, where you're rolling blind, I prefer to go behind the 8 and then use topspin to roll towards my target so that I can see where I'm going. Just feels more natural with me. All right, we're not getting totally washed out. My 9-ball break's been looking good in this format. Good little pop on the cue ball, center table. Really just solving the 2 to the 3 is the most amount of work on this rack. Probably want to stroke this 1 ball in and come out and back into this area for the 2. Pressure's on. That was a big thing with this match, was this guy came to play and he's super loose. And that's what I'm working on, but I hadn't fully settled in yet. So we really need to maybe underhit this. Definitely underhit this. Those are easy to underhit. It's just a lot of energy that goes into the rails. So now we have to accept pretty tough back cut on the 2. I don't remember if it goes past the 8 or not, but back cut on the 2 to play it down here, and then cue ball comes back up for the 3. That's tough. Played it in the other corner, which is a nice shot. We might have gotten hooked behind the 7, though. That's unfortunate. We hit that pretty good. A little bit of outside spin might have helped to come into this rail and pull back up, just because the window is wider as you get farther away from the 7. Yeah, unlucky, I would say. I don't remember if I actually have enough of an edge of this 3 ball. I'm trying to just play it clean, though. Oh, I think I had enough. Open with a combo, kind of leave the 3 ball in the pocket. That looks fine. How's he getting on the 6? He's just going to shoot at it, and it's going to work out. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, you come around 2 rails into a 3-inch position window between the 8 and the 6, and then you just spin away. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what you need to do on that one. I'm not salty, I promise. He's playing good. What can you do? A little out and back. He's just not too worried about like tidy position. I think he's going to be able to make them. It's a good way to play. Got it. He made it happen. All right. He's not running this one out. I can't imagine. He's got to look at the 1, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to try to cut this in. I think a lot of players, myself included. Oh, he hit it pretty full, though. Maybe he wasn't trying to make it. I would certainly have been looking at a safe. Probably not moving the 1 ball as much as moving the cue ball in behind the 5 or the 6. Which is basically what I'm going to try to do now, I would expect. Just focus on the cue ball movement here. You don't have to worry about the 1. You can go pretty full into the 1 and go under the 6, but I think the 5 is a bigger target. too full into the one. Bit of a, yeah, double kiss on the one. Didn't work out terrible. I think he's got to look at the one ball, but nothing easy. He doesn't care. He's just going to get down on it. Oh, he's trying to go safe too. Okay. It's a good play. Worked out. 6 balls helping him. This is a very hittable one ball. Am I going to use my system? That's the question. Do we actually use our skills? Why wouldn't I? Because if you hit this one ball properly, you could get a shot on the 2. It's a pretty natural one rail kick, right? One goes down. Sure, the cue ball's going to want to drift down into here, but you're almost always going to end up with a look at the 2 unless you get really unlucky and the one ball gets glued up on the 7 or behind it. Oh, I think I had to deal with some team stuff, some captain stuff. That could be part of what's going on here. Not by way of excuses, to be clear, just to explain context. First match and having to figure out team dynamics. I'm not using my system. That's twice in this match that I've just decided to not use a thing that works. Yeah, so that's what you get. Being silly. He's got to punish me for this one. Runnable table. Just get good from the 3 to the 5. 6 goes in the top side, I believe. Little funky there, but he's still got to look at the 3. Pretty thin cut on the 3 into the side from over there. But if he makes it, the cue ball naturally tracks across table for the 5. Hammered it. He was trying to go cross corner. Does not roll in. Now we have a weird back cut on the 3. I gotta take this opportunity though. The match is gonna get away from me if I don't. So I'm gonna try to cut this in. A lot of spin to avoid the scratch. This is a roll for sure. I don't know if I was playing any kind of position for a 5. Checking my spot on the rail where I might hit. Different options. Sighting in the 5, just looking at the back of the ball. Just come clean through this and you should end up with a shot. Come down into the bottom right-hand corner of the table. Oh, man. That's a really bad outcome. There's so much table there to get on the 6. And we get frozen to the 7 ball. Do I use a system? This is my third. I'm using my system. Maybe I'll actually hit the ball this time. 2 rail kick system to go into the 6. I still look relaxed though. I have to say I overhit that. Might have used some spin unnecessarily. That's a tough break, ending up behind the 7. Starting to line up a little bit though. That's a shame. He gets out from here for sure. There's really nothing too complicated. Just roll through. He's looking at this, which is kind of new. With a lot of the previous patterns, he's just sort of dropped in. But yeah, he'll just stop shot, roll through the 7 to get on the 8, and then that line, as long as you get past the 9, naturally takes you up above the 9. Maybe a little flatter on the 8 than he wanted to be, but he still has an angle to work with. Oh. Tried to get a lot out of the cue ball there, which he did, but almost misses the 8. He's checking his lines to make sure this isn't a scratch angle. It does not appear to be. So he should be fine to just go clean through this. Played it pretty full into the pocket, but he puts that one away, which gets him on the hill. All right, now what? He's got a shot on the 1. We've seen him go with this sort of low outside, light touch to pull back. Try to shape the 2 in the side, which he does. Gets a bit more out of it than he would have liked, but just jumps into it. Oh, he scratched. He cut the 2 ball pretty well. Just got down on it right away. Unlucky to come off the 6 that way. Although certainly with a bit more prep time, he might have planned his position a bit. We have to settle and get a game on the string. Pretty natural 2, and then a combo 3 to the 8. Let this 3 ball roll full into the 8, so the 3 ball stays in the pocket. And if the 3's on this side of the pocket, then the cue ball can come off to lay up for the... Oh, nope, it's the 4, but actually. So it doesn't matter as much where the 3 ends up. Anywhere in here is going to be fine. Come off the 4, and then I expect I'll want to come around 2, 3 rails for the 5 in the side pocket where I'm standing now. We're a little flatter on the 4 than we would have liked to be, so we'll have to encourage this around with outside. Good speed. And this could basically just be stop shot, pull off the 6 to come down towards the 9. But I might float up above the 6. I need to get myself in stroke. That works. You don't have to do that, but that will work. Now we're on the offside of the 6, so we'll probably have to go with a bit of inside to keep it down table. Doesn't really get you that much, though, does it? But we are getting on the 9. And we won another game, yay. Breaking. Pretty solid break. A good look at the 1. Maybe even a cooperative angle to take us towards the 2. The 4 ball is tough. The 4 doesn't go anywhere. And getting from the 2 to the 4 is tricky unless you get flat on the 2 and end up down here for a simple safe stop shot on the 4 and leave your opponent behind the 7. I'm just going to try for a safe right now from the 2 so that I can get ball in hand and get from the 2 to the 4 more easily. I don't mind that. Good play. Good speed. Right on top of the 8. Not jumpable. He's got systems too. He's coming around. Yep. Full hit into the 2. Leaves us a look at the 2 ball, but it's hard to do anything with this. Although, this might be a natural breakout angle, right? You either make the 4 or you nudge it out. It's risky. I don't know about making it from here. If they're frozen, I think the angle's a little off. If they're frozen, it'll throw the 4. I might try to nudge these. If I don't like the breakout, I could just play to open it up a little bit more, get down below the 4, and then try that stop shot safe from the other side of the table. It's do or die, though. You You really don't want to solve that 4-ball without a good plan. Because we know if we open this up and turn over the table, he's getting out. So I'm trying to hold it to play safe off the 4. It opens up a lot more than I anticipated. Now we're stuck with coming off the 4 and trying to split him between the 7. Yeah, put the 7 between the 4 and the Q. It's tough. That might have been a two-way attempt. Gave it up, though. I would not have loved my position on the 6-ball from there, although it does bank cross-side. Yeah, he's just going to attack this and put this away. A little bit of draw to play the 7 in the side. There's no problems from here. Played it good. Little high inside. Gets tidy on the 9. And that does it. Hey, props to him. He played a great match. Tough break for me. You know, there were some chances there. Definitely could have played better, made better choices. I think it really did come down to decision making and the strange decisions to not use my systems when I know I need them and I know that they work. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Broke my streak, unfortunate, but it happens, and we're just gonna have to work harder this season to get more wins. Stay tuned. There's some really good stuff coming up, and like I said, this next match coming up this weekend, actually, after filming. Today I'm filming on the 1st of November, so whenever this video comes out. But this match coming up is going to be a really good one. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys again soon.